My name is Devin Tanner. I was in the Marine Corps for 11 years, from 2004 to 2015. I was a logistician stationed at Camp Lejeune, Quantico, Virginia, Hawaii, and then back at Camp Lejeune for my final tour. My position in the Marine Corps fell along the lines of the fleet manager or the load planner or dispatcher that is in today's trucking industry. I just completed my third week of over-the-road training, and I didn't expect to be a driver in the industry, but I'm actually enjoying it pretty well. My family has a pretty strong connection to the trucking business. My dad was an over-the-road truck driver for about 25 years. My brother is also a driver. He drove in the Army for about 9 years, and he'll be with TMC with me as well. A day in the life of a TMC truck driver can be eventful. We wake up first thing in the morning, we pull the tarps and the straps off the load. They offload us, and then we'll get the message over the Qualcomm system that says where our next load is. And we'll pick up that load, get out, secure the load to the truck, and then we'll drive to get it delivered. We'll usually get there the night before, if not in the middle of the night. Wake up the next morning, get offloaded, and start it all over again. My household consists of my wife, and I have 4 kids. It can get pretty busy at times and pretty trying, but they're very supportive in what I chose to do. The difference with being deployed overseas and then now being an over truck driver for my family is communication. Now my wife or my kids really want to talk to me, they can call me. And they know that when I leave on Sunday, I'm not gone for 6, 7, even 9 months. They know that about 4 or 5 days later, I'm pulling in the yard, ready to have dinner and carry on the weekend.
Founded in 1972, TMC has grown to be one of the largest flatbed carriers in the country, known for having one of the best on-the-job training programs. They even pay their drivers while they train from orientation through their over-the-road training. Joining me to talk about TMC is Duane Boswell, Vice President of Recruiting for the past 10 years. Duane is responsible for a department that brings in 60 to 70 new driver candidates per week. Also joining us is Cheryl Freauff, a Supervisor of Driver Recruiting at TMC. A Marine Corps veteran, she served in Desert Storm, Desert Shield, with a growing family and an active duty spouse. Welcome, both of you, to Hiring America.
Thank you.
Duane, tell me, why is TMC so committed to hiring veterans?
TMC has hired veterans from day one. It's been an important component for TMC. There's a high value put on the soldier's ability to live with structure and to live up to high standards. TMC prides itself on having higher standards than most trucking companies, and frankly, we find that military veterans are the best people to maintain those standards and uphold those standards.
Cheryl, did TMC recently pledge to hire even more vets?
500 next year. We exceeded that same volume the year previous, so yes, it's been successful for us.
What do you both look for when you're recruiting these veterans?
Really what we're looking for is just the motivation and desire to get into the transportation industry. Most of the jobs we hire for are driving positions, but we do have other positions available too. And frankly, a lot of our management types have come up through the ranks. And we find that military people often want that option to progress beyond being a driver.
How do you help these veteran job seekers identify the skill sets that they have from being in the military and understand, hey, I can translate all of these skill sets to the trucking industry?
Well, I think they know it. I think the challenge is that a lot of companies aren't as aware that they have those skill sets automatically. So we do value that they don't have that challenge if they are seeking employment with TMC.
A lot of vets are watching saying, well, you know what, I was overseas, I spent a lot of time away from my family. Aren't I going to spend a lot of time away from my family when I'm behind the wheel of a truck? What would you say to that?
Well, you're going to spend some. That's the reality of our business. TMC in particular, though, we get most of our drivers home every weekend. Okay, and they're gone during the week, overnight. It's the nature of the business. But for the bulk of our position, if you live in our hiring area, you're going to be home every weekend.
What is TMC's apprenticeship program?
TMC has a training program that is a registered and certified Department of Labor Transportation apprenticeship program. It's also approved by the Veterans Administration, so that a person that's got GI Bill education benefits can actually draw on those benefits while they're in our apprenticeship program for up to 2 years.
Is it mandatory that first-time drivers join the apprenticeship program?
Not at all. Now everyone that comes into TMC can participate in it, but as a veteran, they have the option to participate and then not draw off those education benefits because they still have that option to transfer those benefits to a family member or use in any way they feel fit for themselves.
Duane, tell us a little bit more about TMC.
One of the unique things about TMC is that in the last 2 years, we've become an employee-owned company. Mr. Harold Annette, who was our founder and our current chairman, has decided that when he passes the company on, that he wants to pass it on to the people who helped him be successful in this industry through the use of an employee stock ownership plan. What happens is every year, the profitability of the company is used to purchase shares from him. Those shares are then distributed to the employees of the company. That means that as the value of the company rises, we participate in that rise. So the better we do our jobs, the more money that goes back into our pockets. We think that's pretty special, and a lot of us are looking forward to a nice retirement off of that.
Cheryl, tell us a little bit more about your military history and experience.
Well, I started off in an administrative field and then found it, I wanted a little bit more of a challenge, so then I decided to go into an intel field and just found that I needed to, with a growing family, stay home more and transition into that. So I can totally appreciate what the veterans are going through here today and in the future.
Duane, you're on familiar territory here at Fort Benning. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, I was an infantry officer way back in ancient history. And in 1977, I chose to part with the military and start a civilian career. I was right here in Fort Benning when I made that. I attended an event very much like the hiring event that we're having at Fort Benning today, and ran across a trucking company. They talked me into coming up to their headquarters for an interview, and frankly, the rest is history. There's a lot of the same camaraderie in the trucking business that you find in the military, and I find that to be real valuable in making the transition a lot easier.
For those interested in careers at TMC, where do they go for more information?
We've got a website, www.tmctrans.com. It's a very informative website. There's also a link to our training program on there, so you can find out more information about that. And if you're really interested, you can apply right online.
Cheryl, Duane, thank you so much for joining us here on Hiring America.
Thank you, Laura.